Hi, world. Welcome back to the Unmasking Men pod. As always, I'm your host, Tone. And and I have a cool kid with me here today. I mean, that's why, hence the glasses, guys. Hence the glasses. Welcome, Nathan.
Hey, thank you, Tony.
Sorry, Aiden, I mean.
whatever works.
No, but this is Nathan Shaiyen, and we have known each other for a while. Yeah. Shout out to Auntie Majiro.
Yeah.
We're her babies forever.
Shout out to Majiro.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you for joining me. Thank
You're
you for
welcome.
being here.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
I'll take these off now.
I
I see road. I'm glad you're here, and there's so much to talk about. I feel like there's so much to you. Like, we see your amazing media mogul self, but there's a lot of, I think, just triumphs, challenges. There's a lot to your journey.
Yeah.
So I hope we can just talk a bit about that today.
Yeah, no, for sure. Before we even start, shout out to you. I remember I was having this conversation December 2023.
Yes, actually.
2024.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, 2024.
Yeah, and you were telling me about how you wanted to start this, and we had conversation, and we met up and had a bit more of conversation about it. So I think it's always great to be able to have an idea, to flesh it out and then execute it, and then just kind of run with it. So shout out to you.
Thank you. And shout out to the village supporting it.
Yeah, shout out to the village too. Also,
I've been a run sometimes. But yeah, it's something I couldn't run away from. And I think it also has a lot to do with growing up around my male cousins and just, I think, kind of understanding guys and just the things you navigate, the emotions, and sometimes how the society makes you suppress those things. So, I mean, we're here to unmask. So let's unmask.
Alrighty.
Let's unmask.
Alrighty.
First things first, who is Nathan? Who are you? What do you do?
So again, my name is Aiden.
Nathan, stop.
No, my name is Nathan Shaiyen. I am a creative director. I'm a creative producer. Amongst other things, I think one big title I like to give to myself is community builder. But I'm very into media. I'm very into entertainment. I'm very into building community. One thing that I love outside of those things work-wise is just like meeting people, having conversations like this, you know, being able to impact wherever I can impact. And more importantly, just like living life to the fullest, like, purposeful, like fulfilling life as much as I can. Thank you. And sometimes I don't even think that I do, but, I think I love life so much that like I just really want to live it out as much as I can to the fullest of like my potential. So
That's so good.
Yeah.
Have you always been like that, like loving life and just wanting to give it your all?
I've always been like this.
Okay.
Like if you ask my grandmom, if you ask my mom, they'll tell you two things you never had to worry about me were: one, eating. I never had any problem eating.
No, you don't.
Till now, I
I remember the mountains of food.
Oh yes, a lot of
stories,
food. Eating and making friends and just like having conversation. I mean, so that's two things that I've always loved. And if you ask me as a kid, I remember like way back, like if you ask me what I wanted to do when I grew up, and always say like I wanted to help people. That was just like a constant thing that I said. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know. If it even meant anything useful. But that's just one thing I really loved. And I've just always been happy, I mean, I have my times and moments, but I've just always been happy and cheerful and,
Actually, I remember that about you. You're very, I think I still am more reserved, but whenever you're at Ozzy's house, that's our mutual friend, and that's how we met. You are just always like loud and alive and very much present. I remember that about you. So true. Fair enough. That's cool. And can you tell us a bit about Kinfolk and a native experiment?
So, as much as they're different things, they're all one and the same for me. I think growing up, a big thing for me has been tapping into my creative side. And I think I've always been, as far as I've known myself, I've always been multi-hyphenated. And I've just always had ideas, I've had interests, I've had passions in different things. And which include media, music, photography, entertainment, like a bunch of stuff. And Kinfolk on one side is the music part. I've always wanted to be in a community of musicians, rappers, singers, producers, engineers. I grew up around a lot of music, making music, writing music. My mom sang a lot in a choir growing up.
For real?
Yeah, she used to tour. Like
Shout out to Auntie Chimake.
she used to tour and she used to sing a lot. My granddad was big in music.
Amazing.
From my mom's side of the family, there are a lot of musicians, classically trained pianists too. Also, my granddad was big in music.
For real?
My dad was
The legacy thing.
Yeah. So it's just like music is just always like my dad always listened to music growing up. My mom always listened to music growing up too. So I've just been a part. That's just been a part of my life, and I just always loved. I don't think I can do without music.
Same.
Yeah. And that's just always been a part of my life. Like my mom growing up, hymns were like a huge thing for her.
Yeah.
And then she also had pop stuff, Shalimar, Kool and the Gang.
Okay.
My dad was big on Celine Dion, like Louis Armstrong. So it's a wider range of music.
Nice.
So I just always wanted to be in a community or build a community of musicians that just like were unique, talented in their own way, and figured out how I could help. And I actually started out as a musician. Right,
I know, we know. Type in NVTHY on YouTube.
I started out as a musician, and as time went on, like I usually tell people that like that's what even started the media side for me, right? Like I just wanted to be able to tell my own story in my own way through the media, so through the graphics, through the music videos, through just like putting together the whole package of music. And hence I started becoming more of a photographer, and it just came easy to me. And over the years, I've been put in so many different boxes of, if you meet people who've met me, or rather if different people have met me at different points in my life, right? So people will tell you that I'm a photographer. Some will tell you I'm a musician. Some will tell you I'm a director. Some don't know that I was even into music. Some don't know I was in. So it's like a native experiment came from not trying to be just like, I didn't need to just be Nathan the photographer, Nathan the film director, Nathan the this, it's like I'm all of these things too. And a native director experiment was a way of creating like a physical space, but also like a literal, like just like mental space of how I could create. Right. I think I don't like the idea of just
like being boxed in.
Being boxed in generally. Like, and also the idea of experimenting is very big to me. I think we're all so used to the final finished great looking product.
True.
I love the nitty-gritty process. I love experimenting. I love making the mistake. I love trying out.
That's good to know.
So the idea of experimenting is like very, very big to me. Like I'm an overthinker, so I want to be able to get those ideas like tried out too. And I feel like we live in a society sometimes that people shy away from experimenting because they don't want to fall, they don't want to make mistakes. But for me, it's like a native experiment was. The name originally was Native Studios, right? But when I was doing the CAC for it, we couldn't find studios, so we decided to go with Experiment. We just really served what we're doing like really, really well. And I don't think like our process is great, but our process is way better than when we first started, and it's always going to get better too.
How many years now? You've been building it?
4 years now. I got back 2019. I mean, I didn't. Yeah, 4 years now. 4 years.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You guys are doing really well.
Thank you. That is up to now working in Nigeria, but yeah.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. So yeah, that's a bit of both of those things. So a native experiment is like we do everything from film to photography to what's it called? Books, audio. So
books too.
Yeah, so we've
like audio.
Now physical. So we've. Again, it's an experiment, so there's a lot of stuff that we don't have out that is, in the works, and we're at service company. So I like to say that we're a creative culture company, right? A lot of what we do is also based on for us, by us, as Africans, I obviously schooled abroad and then coming back, like just seeing how things are here, being able to.
I have a question on that actually.
Okay. Yeah. Just kind of creating stuff for us, by us.
Yeah.
Just because I think, it's important for us to keep and tell our own stories in our own way.
Yeah, that's so
And
important.
because if you don't, other people will tell it for you in the way that they see it fit. So
Yeah.
also, and you can't blame them, but you have to tell. So yeah, that's pretty much
true.
a bit of both of those.
Nice.
Yeah.
Amazing. And as an IJGB, well, not really. This is how many
6
years
years
now.
is
This
it?
is not yet. But why did you come back? What's the story around that? Are you
It's-
looking to Jackpot or you're very much at home?
Yeah, first of all, I'm not looking to Jackpot. And why I came back, one simple thing was Trump,
Yeah.
right?
Was Trump?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah, that was
around the time I was 2019,
yeah.
the job market in the US was just like it was tough for international students.
Yeah.
Umar and I came back, like my brother came back
yeah.
because even his company couldn't even get him like sponsorship, right? And we both but his company was able to move him somewhere else to like, and I remember graduating and I had a full-time job lined up in a digital marketing company that I'd interned in Dallas, and 2 weeks of graduation just hit me up and like, yeah, like they're not hiring me anymore. So 2 weeks of graduation was just like
2 weeks to grad.
yeah, 2018. I remember I didn't even tell my parents, like I hadn't told anyone.
Yeah.
Right. So for the next year, like my work permit, like I was working for the year and hopeful that I was gonna get something that gave me sponsorship, and it's like jobs were just I'd applied for a ton of jobs, like if I say 1,000, it would sound like crazy, but even more than that. And it became so annoying because you start applying for jobs that you're even overqualified for. And I just got to the point where I was just like, yeah, man, this is not,
Time to go.
I could have stayed, done my master's, all of that stuff, that, but I think I was just like, I was just done. I'm like,
Fair enough.
I go to my father's house.
As in,
It's not
there's
like,
food at home.
there's
Go
food
home.
at home, and I always wanted to come back. I would have loved it to be on my own terms, but sometimes like you're not always dealt, the cards that you want sometimes, and I was happy I came home because I hadn't been back for like when I went, I wasn't back for like 5-6 years.
Oh, wow,
Yeah,
that
so
long.
that long. So it was a while, and so it was great coming back. So
Yeah.
that's why I came back, and I did consider going back for my masters, but I was just like, COVID happened. I was applying, and COVID happened, and I was just like,
What would you do if you did
integrated
a master's?
media. So I was two things. One was integrated media. One was user interface, UX, UI research, more on the computer science side. So integrated media was more on the tech and media side, so which I really have a big knack for. So yeah,
Interesting. Well, I think it's a positive, and honestly, it's similar for me because it was COVID year. So I was doing my master's, and then COVID happened, and I had planned to come back home for Easter, and it turned out that I could come back quicker because they're like, oh, we're seeing how this is going with COVID. So we stopped full-time face-to-face lectures, went to...
You were in the UK, right?
Yes, I was in the UK. And then went to virtual. I'm like, well, I can come back home quicker, so let me be coming. I came back, and then travel ban was literally days after. Yes, and I've been here since.
Lockdown in Nigeria.
But then eventually by choice, of course. Yeah, and I'm grateful. I feel like these things they're not coincidence.
No, true.
They're definitely
True.
like just redirection to where we're meant to be.
Which is life,
It's life. It's life. So how has being a man in Nigeria been?
Let me drink water.
Drink first.
Being a man in Nigeria. Very interesting question. Not just even being a man in Nigeria.
In Nigeria, specifically.
How do I want to go about answering that question? I think I'll start by saying like the idea of what a man is in Nigeria is very cultural. I think it's very rooted in like who we are as a people, and it has certain stereotypes attached to it. It has its good, it has its I won't say bad, but it's downsides to it. But I think you have to understand it to be able to even know what is good and bad about it. And I think I also just even that phrase, be a man, or like what it's like to be a man, is very different for everybody too. So I don't think I can even speak on behalf of all men or even men in Nigeria too. But different experiences shape different people. But for me to answer it it's been interesting to say the least. I believe I'm a very unorthodox individual when it comes to what it is to be a man.
Yeah.
Right. In so
I
many
do see
ways.
so. Yeah.
And but also in certain ways I am like what the stereotypical man is in certain, and I understand why those things are, and I understand why I'm that way too. In Nigeria, it's interesting because you're around your friends, you're around other men, you hear conversations, you see
Yeah.
the internet, you see what's going on, and I think it's been interesting to say the least. Yeah, I think that's the best way to answer that question. Yeah,
I get.
it's been
Yeah.
interesting. I don't know how to answer that specifically, but I think that
It's been a
interesting.
journey.
Yeah, yeah. If you have more, it's something more specific, maybe I can answer
I
on. But
get you.
yeah,
I
yeah,
get you.
yeah.
I think just in terms of navigating the hustle, if you call
Yeah,
it
yeah,
that for
yeah,
yourself,
yeah,
the grind.
yeah,
I guess being what we say, like be a man, like toughening
yeah,
up,
yeah,
moving
yeah,
out of
yeah,
your parents' house, your
yeah,
family
yeah,
home.
yeah.
I know, has it been easy? What has the journey been like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I've always just been like a hyper independent individual. I think living outside the country for a couple of years kind of helps you speed that coming back to Nigeria wanting to be on your own. For me though, for me, I definitely don't want to be in my parents' house like for too long because I have the way I live, they have the
Yeah.
way they live. Let's just not be clashing heads. But then age plays like a factor too as a man in Nigeria. So getting to certain ages, certain expectations, unsaid, said that are kind of like they're presented to you,
Yeah.
and if you're not meeting those expectations, on one end, society could just be, what are you doing, right? And on the other end, family is like, what are you doing too?
AKA, when are you marrying?
Yeah.
Abby?
When are you marrying? When are you moving out? Like
Yeah.
all these things too
Yeah.
also. And again, because I'm also in a very, how do I put it? I'm not in a typical job line too also, right? I'm not in the civil service. I'm not in
Yeah.
a private sector. Like I don't work. I work for myself. So that also has its own. Okay, when is work going to be good for you? Like
Yeah.
you have those as an entrepreneur too. Like you have those questions as to, oh man, this thing that you're doing, I don't really understand it. So are you sure you want to
Yeah.
do all these things?
Yeah.
You could work here, you could work there, and I do think that like I'm capable of, because I did work corporate before I came back
Yeah.
I worked 4 or 5 years in marketing and communications
wow.
before coming back, so I just didn't want that life anymore too. So already going against the grain of what the typical man is in Nigeria, how I looked when I came back. I didn't have my dreads then, but um, just having my
Says
dreads.
picture here. Of the
Now I'll send you the picture. It's cool, And at the point, I started growing my dreads here in Nigeria, and even just people telling me like, you can never get a job, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm on.
Let the guy live.
Yeah, a lot of my dad's friends would tell me, I give you 2 weeks, you cut these dreads off, and and it's so funny because like I understand where they're coming from, I like their experiences, like their life, the way they've lived too. Also, is there's some truth to that for them too. Also, but I've always known that I haven't functioned in that, so I already knew that I was always going to face odds. I wasn't stupid to think that like I'm just going to come and look this way and think that like it's just a red carpet for me, right? So I already knew that I was fighting those odds and trying to be myself, the man that I want to be, right? The man that like I feel like I foreseen myself like when I was younger. Like I always knew that it was going to be certain battles, certain stereotypes, certain experiences that I was always going to be fighting against. So that's just kind of what it's been for me, and I think it's a constant thing too, because it's also a time for you to be able to look inward too and see if who you really want, like your soul. I always tell people that like life will always test your resolve for things, right? I think if you think you have resolve for certain things, if you think that you have faith, if you think that you're very sure of certain things, like life itself will test that.
Yeah.
And when you get to that point of the test, like you would know if you're able to keep, to handle what it is that you believe in, handle what it is that like you have so much resolve for too. And I think I've had my fair share of, tests of that in like different ways. So yeah.
Okay. And upbringing wise, like how was that? What was your upbringing like? How did that shape you
My
into the man you
upbringing, was
The very
interesting.
independent man you are.
Yeah, like I'm the firstborn.
Yeah.
I have two younger brothers.
Hey,
And
Omar, hey, Zach.
yeah, and I almost say like that. I don't even call. It's so weird calling them my younger brothers.
Yeah.
Like Omar is
You
like
guys
a
are
year younger
twins.
than me. Zach is turning 28 this
I'm
year.
sorry, I can't unsee Zachary as this little person. Sorry, Zachary.
Zach is turning 28.
What?
And it's so funny because sidebar,
Yeah.
Zach was, when I was in the US, Zach was still in secondary school, so I didn't get to see him for because I wasn't back.
Oh.
So I didn't see him till 2016 when he started. And when I saw him, was a different person.
Yeah.
His voice was deeper, he was taller. I'm like, who is this brother that I'm?
this?
I almost did not recognize him,
Yeah.
But he and Omar were in the same school, they were in the same uni too. So like Omar kind of saw him through, but me, he just appeared to me as a grown man, right? Omar is like a year younger, a year and some change like younger. So Omar's turning 30 this year, right?
How old are you?
Me? Let's just leave that to the
I'm done back.
Omar's turning 30 this year. So like
Yeah.
even calling them like my younger brothers, it's like weird, but but
Life goes quick.
yeah, it goes really, really quick. But I'm the first, and I think for me, I've just always had I feel like being a firstborn, like you just have responsibilities on you without you having to even want or ask for these too also, and expectations that you always carry or you're meant to carry as a first. But upbringing was interesting for me. I was never really close to my dad growing up. I don't think we even started getting closer till like last 2-3 years.
Really?
Yeah. Me and my dad always fought.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you think that's because you're alike?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and no. I think just issues, family issues that I think for me I was just always, I knew where I stood on certain things. I always knew where I stood, and I think I was very sure of what was right, what was wrong.
I see.
I was also very sure of what I felt I wanted to for myself, and most times it wasn't what he wanted for me, right? And and just family in general, like family issues and whatnot too. So we just always butt heads. Part of the reason my hair was even the way it was early on was because of my dad. My dad used to cut our hair when it was
Mulu.
my dad used to put us in the bathtub.
That picture here.
Yeah, I'll find all these pictures. But that used to cut. I used to hate it so much. So when I started when I started going to the barber and getting I used to do some crazy. I had a mohawk at some point. I had to try different things, right?
Yeah.
I'm the rebel. In fact, I don't even think I'm the rebel anymore.
It's Omar now.
I don't even know who the rebel is. Yeah, I don't even know who the rebel is between.
Does Omar still have his hair?
Omar showed me his hair. I'll show you at the end.
In a funky way.
Omar has tattoos. Omar
has tattoos.
Omar has
now, okay.
tattoos. Zach is. I'm the only one that doesn't have tattoos. I just have these small earrings. Everybody else is.
Everybody's gone on
Everybody's
some
going
flow.
down there. But growing up, Omar and I always fought. Very fought. Omar and I used
Really?
to. We used to fight. We used to fight so
Omar.
much.
Interesting.
Omar's a lot like my dad, right? And I think that that also played a factor in our what word did I use? Our friction too also. And Omar used to get angry a lot, when he was younger. Typical middle child.
Yeah, exposing Omar.
Yeah, I'm exposing that.
Exposed.
I'm exposing. Now, Zach was just always young.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think then Omar and Zachary went to boarding school. They went to Loyola. I was in a boarder for health reasons too also. Okay. So, and I didn't pass Loyola first of all. Let's just start from there.
Yes.
Yeah, I went to Turkish,
Yeah.
Turkish International College, and for health reasons, I was a day student. Okay. And so most of my young teenage years, I spent alone a lot, in the house alone. Yeah. So I was around a lot more. So I got closer with my mom through that the time, and yeah, I think for me, upbringing wise too. Also, I think family was a big part of my upbringing. My dad's side of the family, my dad is from a big family, 6-7 boys in their family. My mom's side, my mom comes from a polygamous side of her family too. She comes 11, I think 10 or 11 children. I have 3 grandmothers from that side. So and we're all just close. Like my dad's family, I'm really close with all his brothers, their wives, my cousins, my mom's side too also, her sisters, her brothers, the wives, cousins. And we just like, that was a big part of me growing up. And I was born in Lagos, Surulere to be exact, before we moved to DGC. And then growing up, it was just always like, I remember my parents just always having parties at home, like barbecues, like get-togethers. It was growing up, that was such a huge part of like, being in the house. And when we're not in Lagos, we're in Port Harcourt a lot of the time, which is where my mom's mom is from Port Harcourt. And that was just always family, like my grandmom was a grandmom that had everybody, all the children of our nephews and nieces and our aunties and our cousins. So when we're in Port Harcourt,
big on family,
huge,
big on gatherings,
big on that, 11, 12 people in the house, right? So that was a big part for me. And then back in Abuja when we moved, Kina to Magia, a lot of different, like, and this is just like one community of people that like we were friends with, and we had these different communities of friends. So I just always was in communities, and I think for me that's how I thrived. I think like that's how I was able to find myself like a bit more.
I like to ask because it helps me understand like who you are. Like it makes so much sense that you grew up around that like community because you're a community builder. Like, very effortless for you.
Thank you.
That's interesting. Okay, so I'm going to ask you I'm not sure you'll see this coming, but when was the last time you cried? Tell me about it.
Last time I cried.
It's okay if it was this morning.
Last time I cried.
And why?
Man, 2020. 2024. 2024.
I'm sorry, you don't cry to wash out your eyes on a regular, no?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah. Like, I'm not even like a crier. Like, I could get emotional, but like 2024. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I was going through something that I think I just broke down and just started crying. I think it was just like a buildup of a lot of things. And
was it heartbreak?
Nah, it wasn't heartbreak.
Okay.
Yeah, I can never cry from heartbreak.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Nah. I think I actually had like a panic attack for the first time. Yeah, and it was just like a buildup of a lot of stuff, and I just broke down crying. Like I didn't even know how to
to like deal.
Yeah, like, I didn't even know how to deal with it. And I just broke down crying, and it was for like maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and I was just like,
And you sort yourself out, or you reach out to people, or
can you ask that again?
did you sort yourself out, or you?
Nah, I reach out to people. Like, I have a good community of friends of friends that like I reach out to. Then before then, I wasn't really reaching out to people for stuff, but it just a lot had built up to that point. I think it was just like the panic attack just came, and I just like I just cried. And before that, I can't even tell you when next, like when last I cried. So
yeah. So even in me asking, like it's just because. Let me not say Nigeria men, but men, I think there's this notion that you shove it up, that tough it out. Yeah. Don't deal with don't come to terms with your emotions, just shove it in and keep moving. Yeah. Has that been how you, like, is that why maybe you don't even cry much, or was that ever how things were for you? Like, okay, just man it up, things that you were told by community? Or
I'm pretty expressive. I'd say I'm pretty expressive. Like I'll tell you what it is I feel for the most part, but for the most part I don't really feel like, I don't want to say I don't feel much, like I like I feel a lot, but like I'm more in the sense of like getting it done with, moving past it, and I like to enjoy life. I like to be happy, and I'm a very, there's an issue, let's confront it, type of person, and I tell you my mind, I tell you my mind, and I keep it pushing. I don't want to have to. It's very hard for me to. I'm someone who is very hard for me to keep. I don't like having issues with people, right? It's hard for me. Like it just doesn't sit well in my spirit. Like it's almost like I can't move forward, harboring like so much like uncertainty, harboring so much, pain, hurt, resentment towards someone, and it's like it does affect me. It affects my life like in a very, very real way, and I just don't like it. So most of the time, like I would express it. And then again, I think what helps, like, I have friends and we talk about stuff often.
Yeah,
So
that's really
I don't
good.
think it's a common thing for me to. I do understand why guys do it. I do
Yeah.
understand why people have to, because again, for guys to, and I've experienced this in different ways too. Like, you share, it's used against you. You're kind of questioned. You're kind of, why would you even feel that type of way?
Yeah.
And guys on like women, it's like the main reason why you don't even want to say anything sometimes is you don't want to be seen like a certain type of way by not just even women, by like the guys too also.
Yeah.
But then also guys feel that way too, but they are also not also keeping it in too. So it's just this weird cycle of things too. But I think it's just like society and just stereotypes just make people keep it in. Yeah.
I agree. There was something I was listening to, I think it was Jason Wilson, and he was talking about how it's like men have, let's say if you're talking about crayons, like a box of crayons, it's like men have 8 crayons that are just representing emotions, while
Yeah.
women have like 64.
Nah,
That
for
we-
real.
Yeah, and I think a lot that plays into that is just societal notion just tuck it in and keep moving.
Yeah.
Like, why are you displaying? Why are you crying?
Nah, like if you're one of my guy friends know that, I will ask you. Like, I'm the guy to ask what's going on. Like, tell me. Like, let's talk about it. Like, I'm not like, if you're around me and you're a guy, like, you will share. Like, it's not even
That's good.
it's not even like a forceful thing. It's like you will get. It's either it's going to be too uncomfortable for you where you like you can't be around us, or you just kind of like get comfortable enough to be able to share. Like, that's just how I am.
That's good.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely, like, people around me. Speaking about Omar, we got to a point where we had, as adults, we talked about so much of what had happened when we're like young and growing up, and we came to certain understandings about ourselves. We came to certain understandings about family, and it allowed us to even just like build our relationship like a lot more, a lot stronger, a lot more even like, I don't even know what word to use, but like it's almost like an inseparable bond at this point in time too. So and I think with a lot of my friends, it's the same thing too. So yeah,
That's good.
Yeah.
And how are you intentional about community building? Like, if there's someone that's listening that's it's like, how do I just get my guys to open up? They're all stiff. Like, like, just to help them do better, live better.
Time, patience. I think persistence to like, it's you have to chip away at it. You can't just come in full and like, oh, guy, like, when last did you cry?
Bare your soul.
Like, bare your soul to me. It's interesting because it's like I've seen it in different ways for different people. Some people naturally, based upon maybe how they feel about you, how they know you, maybe feel a bit more inclined to share some stuff. Some people might feel a bit apprehensive at first, but like with time, and I think with everybody it's a different approach. It's me just understanding my friends, understanding like what it is that like makes them tick, understanding what it is that makes them like feel more comfortable, and what they're willing to have conversations about, what they're not willing to have conversations about.
So
And starting from somewhere that's like a comfortable spot and like building from there. Yeah.
I'm going to ask something that the girls listening may want to know.
Okay.
Are you in a relationship?
Right now, no.
You're not? Okay. You're single, guys.
I'm a single Pringle.
Single Pringle. Interesting. Okay. Is that by choice? Is it, do you not want to settle down? As people would ask. This is me asking questions. I know some people may ask.
By choice? Yeah, definitely. I was in a relationship like a couple of years ago.
Were you the heartbreaker? Were you heartbroken? Was it mutual?
It wasn't. I won't say it was. It was. It's a tough one.
I'll ask for the other side of the story.
Yeah. It was. Mutual is not the word to use. I would say it was mutual, but I think it was definitely needed. Yeah, it was definitely needed. Right now, being single is a choice. I think I don't know if and maybe it's changed so much in the last couple of years, but it's a choice for me because I think I lost myself like a bit in the relationship too also, and I've been on that journey to finding myself again. And yeah, by choice, but I'm not also closed off to anything, right? Like if I in a space and I think that like God, if you just present me with my wife and I feel this, I mean, I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
Yeah.
But I think that like I'm just like taking my time like a bit more. I think
Got it.
as men too, sometimes that pressure of you have to or like you have to. I think I'm always okay with myself. That's one big thing. But I'm not trying to get comfortable with just being by myself
Yeah.
because I can, and I think I've done that over the last couple of years too. Also, right? I don't really date. I'm not
Why
somebody.
is that?
You
Tell
know,
the masses.
you know. I had this conversation with someone recently, and we're talking about like dating and whatnot, and I I don't think I can share my energy with that many people, right? I think when I talk and conversate with people, like it's deep. It's I'm trying to connect, I'm trying to, and it might not even be on a romantic level, but just even
Yeah.
having these conversations and connecting to it is very big for me. So having to do that with like, you know, 3, 4 different people.
Yeah.
It's like
It's a
these
lot.
type of conversations I'd have with people, but like I can't do this with so many people too. Now, for people who date, I feel like kudos to them because it gives them a bit more. And I don't think one way is wrong or right.
Yeah.
I think it gives them more options to be able to learn about people, kind of know what they really want. I think I know what I want, right? And I think I just I don't even know how to put it.
I have not seen her yet.
Yeah, yeah, right. And even if I have, right, I'm still trying to get to like know her too also. So for me, it's like I don't want to put myself in a space where like I'm sharing so much of myself with
Yeah.
everybody, and just time wise, like I don't have the time. Like I don't have the time to be planning dates and today is this person, tomorrow is this
Yeah.
person. Like I just can't. Like I personally cannot, and I think it's just like I've just never been like that. I've been a long term commitment person, and even in between relationships, I've never really been someone to just
Yeah.
like in fact, you just be wondering like, what's the issue,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like what's the issue? So yeah, that's just pretty much it for me. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Let the girls know. Okay. That's cool. I think that's an interesting perspective that I actually don't think I've heard of guys like just and it makes sense. Like I
Yeah.
get it's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
wanting to spread yourself thin.
Yeah.
I think dating is a is it can
Say
be
it.
a lot. Now, I'm just looking for the words.
The right word.
Yeah, it can be a lot. And someone was asking me how the dating scene is. This is an older person,
Yeah.
an older woman trying to find out how things are. I'm like, it's a lot. Like, guys can be, I think guys can be awkward.
No, for
And
sure, yeah.
I've seen a lot of guys that want to jump the gun in the sense of let's be something
Yeah,
instead of
yeah.
building a friendship.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that's important. Like you can't jump from 0 to 100.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's some divine connection.
Yeah, no,
But
I
like
agree.
it's necessary to build a friendship. I think it's healthy.
Nah,
This is
very.
my personal opinion.
Now you see this. The flip
Yeah.
side to this is you have women who don't want to take too much time. All right, they want to know what it is and what we are, and
Yeah.
like jump
Like,
to
off
something
the
too
bat.
also. And for me, it's like, I mean, that's my own experience too
Yeah.
also. Like I think I like to tell people this too also because I'm around so many people. I'm around so many different types of people and communities.
Yeah.
Like I'm meeting like a lot of women. Like like in my line of work, like we work with a lot of models, a lot of great
Yeah.
people, amazing people, beautiful women. And a lot of them in their own right are amazing women. It's just like the fact that like I have to do that, like and it's never about the work. It's like
Yeah.
just spread yourself thin, and people also want to, and people are, and it's so hard for me because I think this is like a big thing. I don't think I've ever said this like publicly, but like I have a very big thing on age. I don't think I can date anybody or be with anybody that's like, let me know, like maybe like 3-4 years younger than me.
Yeah.
Like it's
You can't.
I can't.
Sorry. So,
So
3
now-
to 4 years
so
is
Yeah, I'm
No,
turning 31 now,
okay.
right? So the youngest
Yeah.
person I can ever be with is somebody who's like 27, 26 maybe. Like it's really tough for me.
why?
I feel like age
Yeah.
has its experience also comes with age,
yeah.
right? Not just with things you've done and whatnot, just like age and growing up. And I think, a woman, this is from my own like
Yeah.
experience. When I was 26, when I was 25, what I wanted in a woman is very different from what I want than when I'm 30, right? I feel like it's the same thing for a woman too also. When she's 26, 24, 23,
Yeah.
what she wants from a man is very different from what she might want from, if she's
Yeah.
single, what she wants with like when she's 32.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just like, I already know like, and for a man, it's different too, because it's like, you're not necessarily dating up most times. Like, which is another conversation.
What does dating up mean?
Like, dating up, like, in age.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay,
age.
okay.
Like, you're rarely ever, like, dating somebody or, like, being with somebody who's, like, older than you. Oh, no, don't give it. Yeah.
Let's not go into that yet.
Yeah, but it's like, so it's like, yeah, for me, a big thing is, like, you know, I can't be, I don't want to say I can't be, but I'd rather be with somebody who's about 3 to 4 years like younger. Just because I feel like life too also has also, like, you guys can operate at the same plane of like experience, same plane of just like what life has been through like at that point in time for you guys too also. And it's easier to navigate certain things like a lot better.
Together. Yeah, very true.
Yeah. I might be different for someone else, but
You've
that's just
broken
for
some
me.
hearts to girls that were a bit younger that like I kid. But I get that, and I remember just like communities that I've grown up in, just like seeing in some people, for example, a lady that got married to a man 10 years older, and how that
dynamic
has not worked well.
Yeah.
So I think it's something very important to consider. But of course, context differs. People
for everybody.
Differ,
For sure.
Yeah, but it plays a role in how you're able to navigate life. Like one person is like maybe they're miles ahead. They've run ahead with their way of thinking and seeing life, and then you're just catching up. But anyway, that's the whole thing. So, okay, well, what kind of father, what kind of husband do you see yourself being? I feel like this episode might turn into maybe you'll find your wife this way.
Let's put a masculine pod, find your wife. I'm gonna make a lot of mistakes. I think I'm somebody who's not too closed off to like making errors. You know, I don't want to go imperfect. I don't think that I'm perfect. I am an overplanner. I'm an overthinker, and you know, just by that fact, like I'm gonna want to feel like I want everything to be perfect. But then there's the other side of me who loves experimenting and like figuring stuff out and like making the mistakes too. So sometimes they clash, right? And when that clash sometimes gets me in my head a lot of the time. But I think one is very intentional. I pray I'm an intentional father, just because I think. Couple of years ago, I wanted to retire at 35, right? Just because I wanted to be like in my children's life, like a lot growing up. I'm 4 years from that. Let's see.
I mean, work hard out.
Let's see what happens. And I think like I really wanted to spend time in my children's life, just because I really know how impactful it is for like a father to be in their children's lives too, also, and not just even just being present, like being present and being very active in their lives too also, because it's one thing to just be there, right? And you know, but being present and like active is like very involved, and I think that's the better word, like is involved for me. One is like being very like intentional. Two is I'd say like the hip dad, like right, right, like the hip dad. You know, like as much as I want to be the parent, and I am and I am a disciplinarian too. Like which is also from like my parents too. Also, like I also want them to be comfortable enough to be able to, you know, communicate with me, talk to me, share with me, because I feel like those were things that I didn't really have to also, and not by any fault or error from my parents, but you know, that's just like what I feel like I would have wanted when I was you know, a kid too also, right? And my parents in their own way did like a great job. There's no manual to this, you know, like there's no manual. You have experiences that you learn from, you know, you make your mistakes, and then you figure it out as you're going. You have a village, you know, and community that also helps out with it too also. I think one thing that I've more recently, and I've always known this, but like to be more intentional about, is like being like a very like God-fearing like father too. Also, I think that's one thing that I've been praying about more recently too, because I think as much as, and this is also like coming to be a man too. Also, it's like that's like where I seek direction, where I seek like a lot of help, questions that I need answers to.
Sorry.
Right.
I just remember End Time Warrior. Please go on. You can explain if you want.
Hey, I'll just keep it at that.
Nathan is an End Time Warrior, guys.
So yeah, and I think loving, more than anything loving, I think I want to show my kids like unconditional love. Like I want them to understand what it means to love in the purest way also, right? And I think that's very, very important for me too also. So yeah.
Awesome.
The other things that I'm missing out, but those are the main ones. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also in the relationship, so being a husband as well.
Yeah.
What kind of husband do you see yourself being or want to be?
God-fearing, same thing also. I think that's the foundation for a lot of I think my relationship with family. First of all, too loving, and not loving in just like, again, the same similar with children. Is like not loving in just a very I love you, like loving in a deep, very spiritual way too also. And I like to say that like the kind of love I want to give is, above all, through, above, in spite of, like that's the love that I'm talking about. Not when it's all great and it's through everything, right? Yeah, for better or worse type of love. I mean, those, when they say those bad, people just say them, but like that's the kind of love that like I'm like I want to be able to show, because like I think it's very important for your significant other to feel that type of love. I feel to be able to have like a certain level of reassurance on so many levels, right? Understanding, because I don't think it's going to be times where like, I might not even understand, but still being understanding too, like in those moments too, because I think, I think we want to be, I don't say we, but it's nice to be around someone who, and this is my own belief, that sometimes you might not be your best self, and they're okay with you still being like, because we're not perfect too also, right? Like I don't think that like every moment of the day like I'm this perfect human being, and I'm gonna have like my lapses, and you want to be with somebody who understands that and it's okay, still being there and pushing through with you like sometimes, because life is gonna throw things at you too also. Supportive. Supportive in whatever way. I think that's a big one for me. Whoever I'm with, I want them to understand that like they have like my full like unwavering support in whatever that like they're doing. It's a bunch of other things, but those are yeah.
No, it's good. I love that, because I feel like it's important for anyone listening to know that, I mean, you can be your whole self. You're a cool kid, a media mogul,
Thank you.
a cool guy, and you have values. You know what you want to, the kind of man you want to be to your wife, to your children, and I think it's important for people to see. And I know someone has actually reached out to me, a lady that listened, and she was like, it's refreshing to see that there are guys that have value and that want to be, like you said, God-fearing and want to live and lead well. It's important to hear, and just to, I guess, change the narrative of, I mean, all men are disloyal. Or, how there are some African mothers that will train their children to say that, don't worry, even if he does this, suck it up. Like, if he goes outside, if he cheats, like, suck it up, you'll be fine. I think it's important to, change the narrative. So, hence the conversations. But on the note of a very important word, trauma. What's trauma? Have you faced trauma? Have you had to heal from anything in your life, if you're willing to share?
It's an interesting question, because I don't feel, for me, I don't feel like, again, going by what I told you about myself and kind of like how I've experienced life is, I think my relationship with trauma is trauma through other people, which is weird, right? Like,
Please explain that.
I tend to take on a lot of emotional weight.
Yeah.
A lot of times, friendships,
Yeah.
you know, and I think that has kind of been, so that has been my relationship with trauma, like over the last couple of years. More recently, I think I have my personal trauma over the last couple of years, but before recently, it's really been, through other people, right? I can't sit down and tell you what trauma I've specifically had because I don't think I even like succumbed to, like, I never really succumbed to whatever that trauma was for me. And even if I did, I think I've moved past it like very like early on too also. So it's through other people that I experienced trauma too also. And I think certain situations I was in became traumatic situations. So like that became the trauma for me. Like the relationship became the trauma for me specifically. So yeah, that's kind of
That's
like
it.
me. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. What's your relationship with trauma?
Hey. Ooh, trauma.
Yeah.
So I just like you said, so I
Yeah.
don't think I would say I've experienced anything traumatic.
Yeah.
I mean, Lord, the funniest thing is that I think that the trauma that if I can use that word,
Yeah.
that I may have faced is self-inflicted.
Okay. Best friend says.
Best friend said, yeah. Oh gosh, and there's this phrase that I would say, like, you can go anywhere, like you can be in Nigeria, you can be in Maldives if you like Maldives, you can be wherever your dream country is,
Yeah,
Australia,
yeah.
wherever. Then
Yeah.
you say, I'm going to go there, I'm going to be cool, peaceful, zen.
yeah.
But if you take your mind there and you're not okay,
Yeah.
then you will have the same experiences. And I can say that about a period of my life where like I wasn't thinking the best. I didn't have the right way of thinking.
Yeah.
I was anxious. I was thinking less of myself, just processing, just feeling small. Like I remember being described as very bubbly, like happy, and I could talk to anyone when I was younger. And I went through a phase where I was just like very to myself. And yeah, just to say that the trauma was self-inflicted in a way, in that I wasn't okay mind-wise, and I was just dealing with a lot of anxiety and fear and keeping to myself. I remember someone saying, "Oh, in uni, that in this uni, I think this was second year or third year. I'm not seeing you here." And it's because I used to keep to myself because I didn't want to have to deal with people. And thoughts and so I would say that, but I thank God for God. And there's this Bible verse is like I hold on to with my full chest. It is so practical. Philippians 4:6-8, and it just says, "Be anxious for nothing, pray about everything. Thank God, and His peace will guard your heart and your mind." And then it goes on to say, like, think on things that are pure, that are true, that are noble, that are praiseworthy. And that has been my go-to. Like whenever anxiety comes, I would just pray. And in the moment, sometimes it works quickly and I feel peace. Sometimes it's a process and just having to get through those thoughts. So,
Interesting. That's very interesting that you see that, because even now thinking about the question a bit more, like the trauma I faced was within relationship, but I think what it was for me was a couple of different things, but like coming out the relationship and having to deal with that trauma was tough because, again, like I told you, I lost kind of like part of myself too also. And I think that like in the journey to find that again, it's like having to deal with that trauma and even just trying to understand like where it's coming from, why it's triggering you, like why specifically like you're feeling this way about this specifically. And I think for me, it's just that going through that, and I was angry for a while, like from 2023 to early 2025. I was angry with myself, and
with yourself.
I was very angry with myself, and we might get into that later on, I know, but yeah, that's just
We
thinking
can
about
get
it.
into it now.
Yeah.
Why were you angry with yourself?
I
The
think-
relationship and the fact that you lost yourself or something?
I think one thing about myself that I've been so what's the word I want to use? Like, I think I wasn't where I thought I wanted to be. The relationship wasn't what I thought I wanted it to be. Life wise, I wasn't in a space that I felt that I wanted to be in. So just like all those things, and they were all, I can't blame, even if I want to blame anybody, they were decisions that I made.
That you made.
Right. And at a point in time, like, you don't have a way to like express these things, right? And again, going back to being a man too, also, it's like you now have the ways to express these things. And early 2024 was when I probably started talking to people a bit, maybe late 2023 too. But I used to keep a lot of stuff in through when I was going through all of this, because I'm also the person that like people come to talk to, right? I'm the person that like is helping people navigate like tough times in their life too. So I thought I could tough it out. I think for me, I have a very high threshold for certain things. And I think like I passed that threshold and I didn't know that, right? And I think really and truly, you also don't know your limits till you sometimes pass them, right? In good and bad ways. And I think I reached like the limit of like where I felt like I could be, like I could handle it, right? Like it was, I think things were just out of my hands and what I could like definitely handle. So, and I didn't know that, but then I was just like pissed off with myself about like how decisions I made, where I was. And I think I just had to come to terms, and I was becoming a person that I didn't like too also. And I think like that was the big thing for me too also. And all my life, I think that like that was somebody I never wanted to become, right? And it was such a very tough thing to look myself in the mirror and be like, bro, like you're already at this point that you said that you never wanted to be at. And, you know, I think that kind of triggered me, like, you know, and triggered like a bunch of different things, but that was like a very interesting part of my life too. So
Interesting.
yeah.
And how did you, I guess, how have you gotten out of that? And how do you get out of that? So
One was I had to sit down with myself. Like I had to talk to myself. I had to, like, I isolated for a while. Like I was just like on my ones, and I was just like, I had to just think, because I also overthink stuff. I just had to think through like a bunch of different things, and in that too, also like prayer, you know, and then talking to specific people too. Also, I think those were three things that like I had to, and it took a while. Like it wasn't like instant. Like it took, I think. Process, right? It was, and I was okay with letting that process happen, right? I think by the time I came out and I was by myself and figuring out like how much I'd lost myself and how much I was so far from the person that I ever wanted to be, like, you know, that process was just like sitting down, praying, almost like purging yourself of like that too, also to like step into something new too, also. So yeah.
Awesome. I've seen this thing occurring. Oh, I was go brand wise.
Yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, plug to occurring. That's what it's called. You're big on self care.
Yeah.
Why and how important is
Shout out Curry.
Yeah.
Quick story about Curry. Like a woman knows Curry,
Oh really?
right?
I
And you
love
know,
that.
how did we even meet? Like through someone else, and I think we had a conversation, and we had a very great conversation on like similar thing that you're doing too, also, which is also interesting. Like she felt that men needed like self-care and needed love, and you know started occurring as a way for men to be able to like do that too also. And that's how I found the brand had to come, and that's why like I'm even still with them, because it's beyond just like the product. So, and I think a lot of stuff that she wants to do is stuff like this, you know. I think stuff that, you know, definitely like helps men out with like self-care beyond just like hygiene, like mental, spiritual, physical, right? And I think me and her connected on that like level of stuff. And I think first of all, there's so much that we're gonna do like in the future. But she's amazing. Shout out Ehi. So yeah, but yeah, I think self-care is always a big thing for me. I think I've paid more attention to it. Working out is huge for me. It is the ultimate self-care for me. It's the ultimate self-care for me, because I think I started working out. I've been working out for over like 13 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's been a consistent thing. Like 6 a.m. I'm in the gym. You know, I'm up 4:30. You know, I'm stretching, I'm relaxing, I'm praying. 6 ideally, like for the last couple of years, this is how like I function. 6 a.m. I'm in the gym, you know. Mentally, I think this is one big way that like I've been able to maintain like a healthy mental health, right? Because it's the gym will humble you, the gym will motivate you. It would bruise your ego. It would make you put in effort. It's one of the few things in life from a practical standpoint that you do that you see the direct result of the effort that you put in, right? Without having to do everything else that like the surgeries and the whatnot. But it's one of the few things that like you actually see the direct result of the effort that you put in. And when I found that out that that's something that I could connect with, it's like I go to the gym mentally, like I'm working out when I'm annoyed and pissed off, like that's where I go to. So I put it to the weights, and you know when I don't work out for a long period of time, like it does kind of like you could see it affect me. Like I could become very irritable sometimes. I could just lose focus sometimes. So that's one for me. Two is, what's the question again?
Self-care, like how
Yes.
important it is,
Yeah. Coming back to like self-care, hygiene and whatnot, I think for men, right, I feel like the gym should be a place like not just every guy should be, like everybody should be in the gym, right? I think in some way, when I mean gym,
how it works for you,
healthy lifestyle,
lifestyle,
like keep a healthy lifestyle. Let it not be, I'm going to the gym for 4 weeks. Like I've started working out for 13 years. Like it's a lifestyle now for me. Like even if I don't work out in a month, like I don't think I'm just gonna add weight like all of a sudden. It's like how I eat. Like I don't call it diet, it's like nutrition, right? You know, like it's like think about it more in terms of nutrition instead of diet, because it's the diet you start, you stop, right? The gym too, it's like just a healthy lifestyle too. Like the gym lifestyle, like if you don't work out for 1 month, like are you still walking? Are you still doing little things to help you? You know, are you moving around, getting your body like active? Because one of the biggest things that like kills muscle growth, muscle repair is being like still, like just being like very like not moving around. I mean, a lot of people don't know that like as long as you're moving around, you're gonna be healthy, right? On the hygiene part, a lot of guys, I mean, self-care, face, beard, hair. I mean, most times women are the ones that usually like do this. You know, you might see a guy in a relationship and see him looking like he's just glowing, and it's not him. It's definitely like whoever is with, like, because she has introduced him to, she's introduced him to like skincare,
Very true.
and most times it's even her own stuff, right? You know, and I think guys just need to get used to caring about like how they look too. Also, not even on a very superficial level, just even just how you look too. Also, I think it makes you feel good, right? Like you feel good about yourself, you know, just knowing that you're taking care of yourself. I think it's very important for every man. I think even before like Korean and using Korean, like I've just always made an intentional effort to like just like take care of myself. I might not have been, I don't think it was, oh my God, I could do like a video and give you, but it was way better than what like most guys were doing. And I think I've just always cared about that to like a certain degree. And I think, you know, little things like, you know, for your beard, just even on your hair, like how you eat, you know, so it's not just even about the products, it's like how you eat, the work, like it plays a huge role, like how you sleep, you know, all these things too, also for self-care too also. And then also I think friends and you know communities also play a big part in self-care too. I think you know being able to talk and communicate and share, you know, issues, concerns, you know, all of that type of things too. Also a bunch of other stuff that but those are the main things for me. Yeah.
I think that's one thing I've actually learned from my mom, like healthy lifestyle. Let it not be that, okay, I'm just on this quick diet. And then you end up losing weight and you're fine. But then, I mean, if your mindset hasn't changed about how you eat, how you exercise, then you're just going to gain and it'll just be a roller coaster. So it's good to just have your way of eating, learn how to eat better. I'm learning that.
And do what works for you.
For
like I don't advise people to, yes, the internet and all these people online, and you know, like I do intermittent fasting. For the last couple of years, I don't eat in the morning. Like my first meal normally is like 5 o'clock, and I do have.
First meal is what?
5 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
Right. PM. Right. And now I have times where I eat before that, like, but on average over the last couple of years, I've been doing intermittent fast, and it's worked for me. It doesn't work for everybody. Not everybody could do it. I don't even advise it because
It depends on the
yeah,
person.
like
You should
yeah,
know
yeah.
your
You
health
should,
and
you should know your health and whatnot. It's not good for everybody, but it works for me. It keeps me focused like a lot more. I'm not as hungry. You know, I don't think about food through my day,
Yeah.
so like it allows me to be a bit more focused
Yeah.
on like what I do personally too. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's cool. Tobe Wigwe. You look like Tobe. Random, but I've looked at you as well. And I listened to one song that you dropped
Yeah.
maybe 6 years ago. I think I saw now.
Okay.
A Day in the Life.
Oh yeah,
And the
yeah.
whole music video and everything. I did not know that part of Nathan
Oh, yeah?
actually. So
Yeah.
I didn't know the music part of you.
Yeah.
Is that coming back?
That's a very interesting question.
What
'Cause,
inspired that particular music video as well?
man, Torigo is funny.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I found out about him. I was in because he's also from the Dallas area, and I found out about him when I was in Dallas actually. And somebody just sent me like see the album cover for it, and is this you? And I'm like, obviously it's not me because it's a different name.
Yeah.
And that was when I first found out like about him, and it's so funny like how you could see somebody that looks like you and almost sounds like you,
Yes.
mannerisms like you. It's
Honestly,
weird. It's
yeah.
the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing. But what's even weirder was if I was going to continue doing music, that's how I'd have done it. That's exactly how I'd have done it.
Amazing.
And it's so interesting to see that, like, because sometimes you overthink these things. Like,
Yeah.
I think I've shied away from music a lot more because I've been at the back. I've been behind. I'm more on the executive side too, also, right? Working with talent, helping to manage creative direction. To answer the question, it might make an appearance at some point. You know, it might be in a different way. It might be, but yeah, I'm always still writing. I'm always still like listening to
Okay.
stuff. But
Nice.
let's see. Let's see.
We'll see.
Yeah,
Okay, man.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you and Toby will have a collab.
Maybe.
Who knows? It's giving twins.
You really give it to it.
But that's cool. That's exciting. And yeah, just as we round up, I'd just love to know if there's anything that I guess you want to talk to your guys about on the other end of the like listening on the end of the camera
My guys.
about being a man, making it work. Any advice?
That phrase being a man, it's I'm probably gonna talk more about that like at some point, but it's a very, very interesting, it's a very linear, like the way people say it's a very linear statement. It's like be a man, but it's like what it is to be a man is different. Like I said, it's different for everybody else. Like I don't succumb to certain things that people like, you know, will succumb to also, you know. So being a man, I feel for me is anything you feel, one, that can make you a better human being, first of all, for yourself, right? I think if you as a man by yourself, you're able to be at a point where like, I'm a better person, I'm functioning better, I'm operating better, you know, and whatever steps you're taking to get there, healthy, right, you know, good.
Yeah.
That's your version of being a man. There are certain things that like, you know, are big, you know, in society, like being a leader, being a provider, and these things vary based off of who you're with, very based off of culture, they're very based off of like what you believe in, right? And, you know, also being a man might differ for when you're in a relationship with somebody, right? What being a man is for one person might differ for what it is for somebody. Right? Being a man for somebody might be, they might need you to be a bit more vulnerable. Some people might not want you as vulnerable. Doesn't mean you can't be vulnerable, but it's like, you know, some people might need you to be a bit more, you know, very firm, and other people don't really like that like as much. But know where your foundation is, and you can build from there. I think as a man, for me, key things are one, be as, and it's so funny to bring it to finances, but like be as financially like stable as you can for yourself. Because if you can help yourself, it's easy to help other people. Not just even relationship wise. Like it's like, and a lot of being a man is tied to finances for so many different reasons.
That's what was in my mind.
And I understand it better now than I did when I was younger. You know, you look back at, you know, a lot of like our fathers, and you know, part of their frustration sometimes was like they weren't able to do all the things that they wanted to do also, right? They weren't able to have certain goals that they wanted to have, you know. As a man, you know, once your boy and your cognitive enough to realize like life, like a lot of what you're doing is working towards like being a provider from a very young age. Like you're working towards, I'm going to have a family, I'm going to have kids,
I'm gonna provide.
I'm going to provide. So if you allow that to like carry you, it's very easy for you to lose yourself before you even get to a point of even getting into that too also. And you look back in a marriage and you're like, oh, man, I'm so drained. And it's like, you know, you haven't really done much for yourself. And, you know, I say a single man makes money. A man that's married makes more money. A man that has kids makes more money, but it doesn't seem like it most times, right? Because a lot of the time it's like, you're just like,
Giving it.
yeah, you're just giving it. And if you haven't, and it's going to be hard for you to kind of be selfish in that too also when that's happening, because now it's like, this trip you want to take by yourself or more. You know, school fees needs to be paid, food needs to be on the table, rent needs to be paid. So you're working for your family, and that's fine, that's great. But if you haven't really set things, and I don't say this to even say that you need to be rich, right? Like a big thing is, and I think this is a bigger conversation about like financial education for a lot of people, understanding we weren't taught these things, you know, like knowing how to like invest, save, like you figure this out after you make mistakes. And I think for a man, for everybody, but for a man, it's very important that you know this like early on, right? Know how to, you know, figure out your money, right? It's very, very important. That's one big thing, because it will give you more freedom to like think about what it is that you actually need, right? If you're constantly in a space where like you're trying, like you're never going to have time for just like, okay, what can I, and money, never money in like a big way, but like money that like, okay, you don't worry about food, you don't worry about shelter, you don't worry about clothing, you don't worry about health for the most part. It gives you much more room to think about other things too also. Your decisions are a bit more from a logical place than a place of need, a place of want, a place of like I have to, right? So that's very, very important, like as a man. And if it means you having to take a step back from and it's tough. This is the tough part. If it means you having to take a step back from certain things in life that are not beneficial to you. And when you're younger, you know, on a financial level, they'll tell you when you're investing, like, you know, take more risk when you're investing, because you know you have more time to make it up over a period of time. And you know, when you're getting older, they'll tell you in investment, like, you know, take less risks. You don't have as much time to be able to compound like anything back again. So it's like, you know, as you're young to also take those risks financially, because you have the time, you have the agility, you have the like the energy to be able to do all of these things too also.
It's giving wise sage.
So finances as a man, health, very, very important. I think a lot of men are dying from so many different things. I actually, so growing up, I don't think we've talked about this, but growing up, like I had I struggle with high blood pressure. I still do, right? And I was born with my issue, right? And we didn't know what the issue was, and I was taking blood pressure medication as young as like 8 or like 9, right? And I used to get this like intense headaches. I used to get this like terrible headaches, right? Like headaches that you want to just tear your hair, like hair out. And you know, from there, they didn't find the kidney problem, but they found like another heart issue for me growing up too. So I have rheumatic heart disease. It's like it's an infection, and all my brothers and I had it actually. And you know, we take medication. We used to take medication for it every day. We used to take injections for it every day actually. And I'm kind of segueing a bit, but and I'm coming to a point because it matters like at this point for me. We take injections for it every day, like penicillin injection, which is like partially paralyzed, and it was just terrible. We'd leave school every month. We taking like once every month, and like I almost died from like one of those. This was like how old was I? Like 13 or 14, 14. I can't remember. So we switched to medications. We take these medications every single day. I also had like a heart murmur, so it's like a hole in your heart. When they found out about mine, I was really like old, right? When I mean old now, like normally like, you know, the solution for that is like open heart surgery, and they usually have it for kids when they're younger because it's safe. It's safer to have it when you're younger than when you're a lot older. So like the risk is just like a lot more. So I think I was 9 when they found out mine, and then my parents were like, "Yeah, we shouldn't do like we just don't take that risk, and we just do like the longer. We just take time with it too. Also, so yeah. Fast forward, I was doing that for a couple of years. I was 14. Oma and Zaki were going to school, check up for school, and they check like my blood pressure. And let's say we're having a conversation like that, and I'm calm, and the calmest that I could ever be, right? And they checked my blood pressure. My blood pressure was, like 140, like some like yeah, like it was pretty high, and I was 14, right? And
Wow.
3 other doctors checked it, and by the grace of God, like that situation just happened enough for them to be able to. And it's tough because, like, again, being a man again, I have a very high pain tolerance also. So it's very hard for me to even say I have like a headache, like, and again, when I was younger, when I talk about I had a headache, it's just kind of like, oh, he's just very active, he's hyperactive. And, so as time went on, did a couple of tests, took 3 months, they couldn't really tell what the issue was. We went to India, you know,
Interesting.
yeah.
Not me thinking I knew you. Like we've known each other for this long, but yeah.
I don't talk about. I
you
mean,
don't talk
like
about
I don't talk about this as much, but
Yeah.
it's a huge part of my life too. Like, and it plays into a lot of different things too. Also, but went to India. All the tests we did in 3 months, we did like in 1 month.
Wow.
In 1 week in India, rather. Sorry, did a surgery, minimal entry surgery, so didn't have to completely like cut me open, but just like I have like 3-4 scars on my body too. So my mom went with me, and then 'cause we thought I was gonna need a kidney transplant. Right, around that time I was having insane headaches, like worse. Like my headaches were becoming so much worse. So I was on like moderetics, and if you know moderetics, and it was just like it was messing up my mood. It was messing up like a lot of things too also, and so I was out of school. I was in SS1 around this time. I think I just started SS1, and I was just like, I'd be in class, and I'd just be like, my head would just start pounding. And I didn't have, the issue was I didn't have signs, and which is what I'm getting to. I didn't have signs somebody with a kidney issue would normally. I didn't have pain on my side. Like my urine wasn't like anything like, suspicious. Like I just had like insane headaches. Right. And that could be anything, right? You take Panadol, like it could bring it, so like you wouldn't tell that somebody had like a kidney issue. Now, when we did all the tests, we found out that I was born with my issue, right? And one of the tubes of my kidney was narrow, so the blood pressure was like, so they had to cut it. And just so, long story short, did the surgery in India, successful by the grace of God, came back to Nigeria, and I don't think I had as much of a headache, and I don't fall sick normally, so I didn't have as much as a headache from 2009 till 2000 and COVID time.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you that I had as much of a headache. Now, this is now where you as a man, certain things become your responsibility, right? Through that whole time, like health became a very big thing for me. Working out, eating well, just being very conscious about like my body, being very conscious about my body physically and also internally too. Also, what I put into my body. I still love junk food. I love eating rubbish, but like being able to navigate that too. Also, like understanding when I'm stressed out, taking a step back. Being able to know when to sit down and not really like listening to my body like a bit more. A lot of us don't do that. A lot of men don't do that. A lot of people don't do health checks regularly.
Yeah.
I'm at fault for that too. I'm also trying to do better too. Also, we feel like we're moving and everything is just all right. But when you hear people, and this is one of the saddest things to me with like high blood pressure, I'd posted about high blood pressure.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yes, like when I was doing like my 100 days, and a bunch of people just messaged me. People I knew, like I didn't even know were dealing with it, like messaged me, like their blood pressure were insane.
Wow.
I'm like, brother, like you need to take a step back, like, and it also let me know how much people are dealing with this, and it's scarier for people who have not had blood pressure before, because they don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
So I've grown up in it. I know how to deal with it. I know what my tells are, right? Because
it can be managed.
Exactly. And blood pressure is like a non-communicable disease, so like it's not the same. Like there's no,
like you're not passing it on to anyone
Yes,
in a
yes,
sense. Is that
yes,
what
yes.
you mean?
And also, it's not like you have like an itch or a scratch or like
Yeah, okay.
it's a
You can't-
headache,
yeah,
right? Like it's a
yeah.
headache for the most part. And when people see people that die from heart attacks, more often than not,
They
it's
have
from high blood pressure,
yeah.
right? Like their arteries and everything has just like become so like, and most people can't really tell when they even have high blood pressure. And I feel it's one of the biggest like causes of like young men dying
Yeah.
too also. And around that time, people were just telling me stories about doctors in the offices that had died, like, 24, 25, 26, 27, right? And I just started thinking about like what is actually going on. And part
Yeah.
of it is like thinking that you're okay when you're not, you know. A big thing for me is health and paying attention to your health, listening to your bodies. I think
Yeah.
blood pressure is a huge thing for guys too also, because I think just mental, and I realized how much mental. So 2023, 2024, my blood pressure came up very high again. And I felt like I was in some of the best physical shape that I was
Yeah.
in, and I was doing good. And I went to the doctor, did like a full body check, did everything, and I was good. And the doctor was like, well, I don't see anything here, like your kidneys are good. Like I don't see anything here that's making you have high blood pressure.
Yeah.
And he's like, are you going through anything like in life separate from that? And I'm like, interesting you say that,
Yeah.
And for the first time, like mentally, like I was like my mind was so many places that it was my blood pressure was insane.
Wow.
I don't even like it was through like the roof of like, and I was getting so stressed out mentally that it was really, and I was breaking out in like like stress hives, like, and I was just like, this is like, first of all, I'm a very inquisitive person. It was very fascinating to me
Yeah.
to even just know that like this amount of mental strain could
make
cause
you
like break out and have like your blood pressure this high too. And I just started thinking, and part of the reason I made that video around that time was because that was something I was experiencing that I felt other people were, and I just felt like I needed to share that too also. And
so good.
and my life is also a very like work too sometimes can be very stressful, right? And knowing how to navigate that is also very, very like important. So, and the pressures of being a man will get to you. The mental, I'm not where I want to be yet, pressure from family, from a significant other in a marriage, from work, just all the pressure around, and it's gonna get to you. And if you're not able to navigate it to, find ways to filter out what is needed and whatnot, like it starts affecting you like, internally too also. So checkups, very, very important.
Do your
3,
checkups,
spiritual health, right? I'm talking about health on so many different, because health is,
mental, physical,
financial, mental, spiritual,
emotional,
draw closer to your God, right? As much as,
Tell 'em.
I'm not even going to say that like I'm an A1 Christian, like I'm still a baby Christian, right? But at the same time, it's like, draw closer to God, because I think like spiritually too, like there's a lot of things that like happen in a very physical realm, and there's so much you can do on the physical that you have to do. But at the end of the day, Apostle Selma talked about, I forgot what it was that he talked about specifically, but he listed a couple of different things, and it's like, said the 7 things, but at the end of the day, there's still like the spiritual factor. But all those things, they all work hand in hand, right? You can't have one without the other, right? So, draw closer to God, however it is that like works for you, to pray, to connect with God, to let God take control of your life, figure that out for yourself too also. And emotional too as a guy, right? Know how to regulate your emotions too also. Know how to express your emotions too also. Whether to friends, whether to family, to people that, you feel, that you could trust, like know how to regulate that too also, because those also affect how you also make your decisions. And for the most part, as a man, I think you want to be as clear-headed as you possibly can in any decision that you make too also, because I feel like a lot of blame is going to come back to you regardless
False guys.
regardless of what it is, right? So be as clear-headed, because you can't blame anybody for decisions that you either made or didn't make, right? Like that's going to be on you. And lastly is, I had a conversation with a friend of mine, Nestor, last year, and he had this cool concept called the brother shelter,
I've
right?
seen that. Really cool.
And I think it's very, very important that you have a brother shelter. And I talked about this a bit, and I'll kind of repeat what I said. Is like, as guys, we usually have places that we go to. We'll play football here. We'll go and watch a match here. We might get together for a drink, but it's like that's all it is, surface level, But the brother shelter is like a place where you actually connect with people. It doesn't have to be a place, but just like people that you connect with, that you could share with, that you can confide in, when you're down, when you're confused, because the only people that really understand your issues are other men, right? And your friends, the people around you are probably going through similar things or have gone through it and have gone to the other side, but might not even feel like maybe you're even comfortable to hear it because you haven't talked about it. So be that guy to, guys, I'm feeling this type of way. Be that guy, right? Don't be ashamed of being that guy. I know it's tough to even just come out and say these things, because there are certain things that like a woman can understand, but only a man is going to understand better, right? And you need another man to be able to, you need to be able to know as a guy that like you're not the only one going through this issue, right? I think it's very, very important to know, because at any point in time you might feel like it's just you dealing with this, right? And because you feel that way, you feel you can't talk to anybody. And I feel I've gone through this too, like at points where like I felt like I was the only one going through something very specific, and I realized like everybody else is going through it in their own way, right? In their own way. Like, oh wow, like you dealt with it this way. Interesting. Like you dealt with, you don't even have this issue. Your issue is this. I'm like, I don't have that issue, right? And it's like you start finding common ground and finding like a community where you could really confide in and share and feel safe.
There's so much freedom in sharing.
It is. There is. And again, this is where like discernment and prayer comes into place, to also know who those people are to like, because it's not everybody that you want to share with to like at the same time too, because that's also, it has its own downside too also. But I think those are like my little things to become in a man.
Those are gems. Thank
Financial,
you.
health, spiritual, emotional.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And thank you for sharing too so openly about your health journey. I remember when you posted about blood pressure and how important it is to check. My goodness, very important. So
I'm still terrible though. Don't get me wrong. I'm still very terrible.
It's a journey.
I'm still terrible, but
you mean with eating or your
just like even like my blood pressure, like I think sometimes like because I've lived this so much, I can take it, and I have moments where like my blood pressure is high for like a period of time. Like small things, like, and people don't know this, like small things like your teeth could get like your blood pressure high, just like infections. A lot of people don't know this too also, again, this is just from me learning and finding out all these things too also, like, so something as small as getting your teeth cleaned and whatnot is a very big thing. So going back to self-care too also, right?
brush your teeth.
Brush your teeth. If that wasn't obvious enough. But like, and I want to talk about blood pressure a bit more. Like, one of my biggest fears is people that have blood pressure that haven't had it before and how they treat it. So also, I think, for example, now like a woman who's pregnant and has blood pressure, they could give her certain medication that could bring it down, right? For people who are not in that kind of like pretty much pregnant, right? Right? It can be dangerous for some people because they could give you a dose that's too much that drops your blood pressure very, very low. And low blood pressure is very, very bad, right? And we have what's called like mental
fatigue,
mental confusion, right? You're foggy. It's a bit just everything's just all over the place. And I've seen so many people react to and the medication also has its own like side effects too also. So I'm very particular about people even just taking medication when they first find out they have blood pressure. What I advise is lifestyle change immediately, like what you're eating, like workout, like if you're above a certain weight, like start from like lifestyle changes is the first place you want to start. And if it still persists, get checked. Because most times if you have blood pressure, like most people are not like me, where like I was born with my issue, right? And I wouldn't have even known if I didn't check. But most times if your blood pressure out of nowhere, you've never had blood pressure, you have no history of blood pressure in your family, whatever the case might be, lifestyle change. Like if you take a second to just like self-analyze and do like a quick, just like, what am I doing? You're gonna find out that you're doing things that are a bit too much,
Yeah.
and taking a step back. Like if you jump, because the thing about blood pressure medication too also is if you don't take it consistently enough, it's like malaria medication. If you don't finish like a dose, you might need like a different dose to be able to now like get rid of it like the next time too
Yeah.
also, right? So with
Okay.
I don't know exactly how, but like
So in the sense of you may not treat it to the end
exactly,
of it.
exactly.
And then, okay.
But like blood pressure more is it's like, for example, now if I take 5 milligrams of like lisinopril, right, and I'm using it to treat my, but I'm not doing it often enough. Like my blood pressure is doing this, right? So it's gonna stop working because I'm constantly doing this. So I'm gonna need 10 milligrams, and 10 milligrams is gonna affect you different. And if you're doing this, it's just gonna you're just gonna keep. So if you're not somebody who wants to like advise, don't even start. If you start that, like you have to depend on that to consistently keep regulating it. Because what it is just regulating your blood pressure, and if you're not changing a lifestyle, like it's definitely gonna affect you in different ways too.
I will just say, make sure that you go to hospital, get checked.
Yeah.
Don't try and figure it out yourself.
Don't
self-medicate.
Don't self-medicate, definitely.
Yeah.
A couple of people, like, a guy died on the pitch for football like last year or 2 years ago, and when I heard about it, and it's a pitch that we all play, and it's like he had a heart attack, and the first thing that came to my mind is, and when everybody said like, oh, there were never any signs. He wasn't sick. And my mind just came to like, he probably had like high blood pressure, right? And
and he didn't know.
and he did not know,
the
and
signs were
exactly
what it was.
like all these things too. So
Thank you for that.
you're welcome.
So to the guys, please look after your health,
very
mental,
important.
Emotional, physical, everything.
Spiritual.
Yeah. Take the wisdom from Dr. Aiden. I mean, Nathan, thank you.
Anything else you want to ask?
At the moment, no. Thank
right.
you. Thank you for just opening up, sharing your journey, and just the ins and outs of who you are. I'm really grateful for your time, and I'm looking forward to everything that comes from your journey, music-wise, I mean, creative direction-wise, other things you venture into, and thank you.
Thank you for the platform, because this is a space that also men can come and feel comfortable and talk. When we had this conversation, I asked you why did you feel like you I forget what the word was, how I phrased it, but like I think I asked you, why did you feel
like I should
yes
do it?
yes I asked you why did you feel like you should do it, and I think reading like what you sent me like makes, and you told me about reading what you sent me like makes so much more sense, because again it's like I think for a man it's like, why am I talking to
why am I talking to a woman about this?
Do you understand?
100%,
right, for a lot of men, like generally too, but I think like you've also created a space where like it's safe, it's comfortable, it's homely.
Oh, love it.
and more importantly, like it's very insightful, right? Like you're asking questions that like people definitely probably have never really been asked before, right? They have to really sit down and think about for the first time, like, some of those things, like they're being asked it, like, and it's even wild to even think about people have never been asked those questions before, right? A very important question. Some questions a bit, deeper than others that have you to really, they might not give you all the answers in the moment, but it will cause somebody to go back and be like, And for the listeners too also, just like, hopefully like this connects with them in a way that, everything else on the internet hasn't connected with them,
Pray so.
I think that, all the different, experiences for the different men that come on here to will resonate with specific people that are similar to them in different ways. Again, we don't speak for all men, but we speak for people that shared experiences and different. So anybody 100%, who's experienced life the way I've experienced, maybe some parts of my life, some parts of this speak to them too also. Shout out to Best Friend. Shout out to JJ. The village. Very, very
Thank
important.
you.
But yeah,
Yeah.
thank you again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nathan. Bye, world.